Hi, I'm TJ coming to you from Big Winds with my colleague Tom, and we're excited to announce a new board from KT. Tom and I have been riding, along with a lot of our customers, the Super K for a solid season and a half now. Offered, in two different constructions. We love this full sandwich construction because of how light it is. The Super K has been probably hands down our #1 selling board over the years. Yeah. We've been using it for winging. We've been using it for para-winging. It's pretty amazing. Just a great all-around tool for the gorge. But KT's going to announce here very shortly a new model. And that new model kind of sits in between the Super K and the Drifter, the wider wing board. And it's called the Arc. And Tom and I, we've been riding this one here for a few months now. And I got to say, we're quite impressed. And it's hard to stray away from the Super K because it's so tried and true and such an amazing board, but this one does truly fit right in between the Drifter and the Super K. A couple of features. I think the tray, the standing area, is probably the most notable feature. Do you want to give me your take on the V-deck here that they came up with?
Yeah, I mean, right away when I first rode it, it feels super comfortable once you're actually up, because there's actually some concave in the deck, so it feels like you can get your toes you can get better leverage when you're turning. And it just feels a lot more stable, especially with the width on this board. And I also really liked how wide the base is. It's a lot flatter than the Super K, so a lot more surface area on the actual water. So when you're starting, it felt incredibly stable.
Super stable, and that's so key for para-winging. And that's kind of what I noticed right out of the gates too. Like when you're starting with your para-wing, you're kind of in this crouched position. And a lot of times I find myself too far back and I really need to get further forward. But when I get too far back on the board, there's a little bit more width in that tail to not sink it as much. But yeah, flat, stable platform. That V-deck, I think, is kind of what gives it its name, the Arc. It really allows you to kind of stand in that almost like skateboard deck fashion where you're pushing off the back foot here and you got something to push off the front and really crank arcing turns. So flat deck on the Super K. V-deck on the Arc. I still think we're going to sell a ton of Super Ks this year. The winging community loves it. We've got a lot of people para-winging this board. But it's fair to say that if you're 80% para-wing and maybe 20% wing, you should really consider this new Arc. They did a lot of work on the dims, the specs, and there's a really good size range, all in the 8s. So this is a 58 liter. It goes up to a 98 liter. We expect these to drop here, I think, May 10th. And they will be offered in foot strap configuration in a red colorway. This is just a custom that we got from Maui. So expect the Arc to be a winner. If you're into para-winging, you got to try this board.
This is the one.